Hi guys, welcome back for our daily practice questions. It is day 244, but as always, I like to first start with my introduction and disclaimer before getting started with our questions for today. So for those of you who are familiar with me, hey y'all. For those of you who are new here, welcome, welcome, welcome. I am Dr. Brittany Weinstock, a family nurse practitioner and the founder and CEO of the Nursing Studio. I provide resources, tools, review courses, review videos, review books, digital flashcards, Q banks, one-on-one sessions, and more to assist nurses as well as nurse practitioners with success on their boards as well as in practice. I've been doing this since 2015, assisting nurses and nurse practitioners internationally with exam success. But y'all know my disclaimer and reminder is that we know there's no absolutes in medicine. We treat on a patient by patient basis, and any of the questions that you see here, I have designed and created based on the current guidelines that are being tested on the ANCC as well as AANP exam. Now, any of my videos where I'm teaching on things that we currently do in practice, I will always say that so there's no confusion. So, with that being said, let's get into question number one for today. But before we get started, don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you're not missing any of my videos. And if you would like to gain access to my NP Test Success Toolkit, it is free and linked in the description. My website is also linked in the description, and it houses all of the resources that I offer, as well as I always like to direct you to my business profile that houses everything in one location. You can simply find this by going to Google and searching The Nursing Studio. You'll find my telephone number, link to website, as well as testimonials from previous review students. All right, y'all, question number one. A 62-year-old man with a history of hypertension presents with a harsh crescendo-decrescendo systolic murmur, best heard at the right upper sternal border with radiation to the carotids. Which is the most likely diagnosis? Is it A, mitral regurgitation? Is it B, aortic stenosis? Is it C, aortic regurgitation? Or is it D, mitral stenosis? Take a moment and tell me what you got in the comments, y'all. All right, stem of the question states, and I always recommend reading the stem of the question first as it allows you to slow down to ensure you're answering what is even being asked of you. So here the stem of the question states, which is the most likely diagnosis? And I always say if they're asking for a diagnosis, you got to run it back and look at those assessment findings. So this is a 62-year-old patient, has a history of hypertension, and presents with a harsh crescendo, decrescendo, systolic murmur. All right, so we're talking about murmur and diagnosing what type, right? So I always tell y'all the two things you need to identify to get this correct every time. Determine if it's systolic versus diastolic, and this states that it's systolic, right? So systolic murmurs are your mitral regurgitation and your aortic stenosis. Use whichever mnemonic works best for you. And then it states that is located at the right upper sternal border with radiation to the carotids. So I always say no systolic versus diastolic, and also know the location, because then you'll be able to determine if it's mitral or aortic, right? So in this scenario, it's letting you know that it radiates to the carotid. The systolic murmurs that radiate to the carotids is from an aortic location, that second intercostal space, right? Because think of where it's located. At the second intercostal, it can radiate up to the carotids, whereas mitral at the fifth intercostal space radiates to the axilla. So in this scenario, which aortic murmur is a systolic murmur? And it's aortic stenosis, right? So B is your best answer. Question number two, a 45-year-old woman presents with dyspnea and fatigue. On exam, she has an opening snap followed by a diastolic rumbling murmur, best heard at the apex. What is the most likely diagnosis? Is it A, aortic stenosis, B, aortic regurgitation, C, mitral regurgitation, or D, mitral stenosis? Take a moment and tell me what you got. Right, it says, what is the most likely diagnosis? So again, we're going to look at these assessment findings. We're looking for the determination of the type of murmur, right? So again, is it systolic or diastolic? So if systolic murmurs are mitral regurg, aortic stenosis, and MVP falls into that as well, then your diastolic are the opposite. So that it's going to be mitral stenosis and aortic regurgitation. So now we need to look at the location, and it says at the apex. So mitral is at the apex of the heart, right? So it would be D, mitral stenosis. All right, lastly, in question number three, a 28-year-old otherwise healthy woman is noted to have holosystolic murmur at the apex that radiates to the axilla. Which condition is it most likely? Is it A, mitral regurg, B, aortic regurgitation, C, tricuspid regurgitation, or D, ventricular septal defect? Take a moment and tell me what you got. All right, stem of the question states, which condition is it most likely? So, all right, again, this tells us this is a systolic murmur, and it's at the apex of the heart. So even if you're stuck and you don't know the location, one, mitral is at the apex, two, mitral radiates to the axilla. So remember, our systolic murmurs are your mitral regurg and your aortic stenosis. So in this scenario, A is your best answer, mitral regurgitation. All right, y'all. I hope you found this helpful. As always, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share with whoever you may think may find this beneficial as well. But y'all know what to do. Y'all make sure y'all meet me back here. And if you need any other resources that I do offer, feel free to reach out to the Nursing Studio by giving us a call at 803-400-6864. You can also shoot a text message to this number and shoot us an email to the email listed on the screen. And as I always mention, all the resources that I do offer are linked in the bio of this channel, including my website. And my website is also linked in the description of this video. All right, y'all. Y'all know what to do. Y'all make sure y'all meet me back here. Happy studying. Bye, y'all.